What's going on, everybody? HondaPro Jason here at Northwood University in Midland, Michigan at the New Car Auto Show. This is my 4th year and it's their 56th year during the show. And it is the largest outdoor auto show for new cars in the country. So what I want to do today is I want to talk to some of the students that are standing next to me and ask them a couple questions, kind of interview style, about what they think of the show and some of the things that they've gone through to make this show so epic. So let's start out with your name and your year here at your school.
My name is Randall Madison. I'm the 2nd year here at Northwood University.
Awesome. Then Randall, so you're with the Acura Group.
Yep.
What was the hardest thing putting together this auto show this year?
Hardest thing for me was definitely fundraising. Once you got like the first few donations, then it like got a lot easier. But the first initial like asking like, hey, would you be willing to fund or like help donate to my cause and like help the auto show like come to what it is right now? That's definitely the hardest portion for me.
And this show is put on by college students, but used all by fundraising money that you guys produce yourself.
Yes, this is all fundraised money that we produce ourselves. So all of my stuff inside of my tent is either from corporate or I bought it myself. So it's all fundraised money that like companies gave me.
That is awesome. And what did you learn? What was the biggest takeaway from this year's show for you?
Biggest takeaway is the like auto industry is literally like one of the best industries out there, because like literally I can like talk to anybody about anything and they're like, oh yeah, I already know what you're talking about. Like it's like holy crap, because I got a Gen 2 NSX over there and they're like, oh yeah, like I already know everything about it. I'm like, well, I didn't know until I got here. So,
so cool.
Yeah, so it's like it's really cool to like figure out like people like can like just talk about anything, like anything car, and people will understand what you're talking about.
I love it. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, on to my Honda guy here. Yeah. Name and what year are you?
My name's Ethan Shad, and I'm a sophomore here at Northwood.
And since you're in the Honda division, what did you learn about Honda that you didn't know before the show?
I did not know before the show that they made a Honda Jet. I was very, very surprised about that. I did not think that they could make a private jet, but turns out they do. And it's really good.
Honda makes pretty much everything, which is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So if you could change something for next year's show, what would you change? If you were in charge, what would you change for next year's show?
I would probably have a bigger display of the Honda Jet. I think that would be awesome. I think another legacy car would be cool. I think something showing the past generations of how like the Civics, moved on and stuff. I think that would be cool, but...
I agree. It is legacy themed this year, so most of the manufacturers have older vehicles. You guys have some older, 4-wheelers and 2-wheelers here, which is cool. The Honda is something more for the Honda Jet. We can work on that. Oh, yeah. In fact, I know some larger models where they're available, and we got to talk about that. Yeah, we're going to have to see that. Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Your name and your year?
My name is Steven Barker. I'm a sophomore.
And Steven, what did you learn about Acura that you didn't know last year?
So I learned a lot about Acura, considering the fact that I'd never driven or rode in an Acura before 3 days ago.
Okay.
So I started doing some research on the NSX. My captain, Randall, was telling me that I was going to be driving an RDX. And I started to do a lot of research on that. And I realized how affordable of a luxury brand Acura is. And I was really impressed with the bells and whistles and just the ride of the vehicle. So I guess to sum it up, Acura is a very strong brand that I didn't even realize had this much potential.
It's very fair, and that makes a lot of sense. What was the hardest thing for you this year? What was the most difficult to overcome?
I think the most difficult part of Auto Show this year has been scheduling with other things. Being a student athlete and a student on campus, trying to organize the time to get every person on campus to make this event happen is just insane. And the fact that we can pull it off like this every year for 56 years in a row, it's something that we're really proud of here at Northwood.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Okay, last but certainly not least, name and year?
My name is Joe Rupert, and I'm a sophomore at Northwood University.
You're a sophomore. Okay.
Yes, I am.
What is you're working with Honda, what is your favorite Honda vehicle after this show? Like what car did you see that you're like, wow, I didn't know, but I really, really like this Honda?
So probably my favorite Honda would be the Accord. We had the 2.0 turbo, which is pretty sweet, and we got to sit in it. It was a touring trim line, and actually I learned about it. It actually has the same engine as the Type R, so I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, so it's got some pep in it.
That's cool. Honda likes to use the same power plants for other vehicles, just change them around a little bit. So the Type R, the RDX, and the Accord all basically have the same engine, which is cool.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
So one last question. Let's go with the hardest. What was the hardest thing for you this year in the auto show?
Probably, like, I don't understand how we do this, but organizing, like, getting cars from dealerships. Like, I think that is crazy how, like, the e-board as well as the captains of each team, like, organize getting, because we got 12 cars here from 2 different dealerships. So I think that's pretty cool how we were able to manage that, because that was pretty hard to be able to manage that, because we had to take 3 or 4 trips just to get these vehicles here.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, because it's not just Honda. It's Porsche and Ferrari and Toyota and Mitsubishi and Subaru and Chevy and Ford and Dodge and Chrysler. I mean, all of these vehicles have to get here. And you guys are in charge of getting all the vehicles here. Not only that, you have to contact the dealerships to say, hey, listen, we need a vehicle. We need actually millions of dollars of vehicles to be here at the show. That's incredible. Props to you guys, and props to everyone at the show. You guys do an outstanding job every year. And hopefully you guys learned something about the auto show. And if you haven't been here before, this happens every year. And it's definitely worth your time to come out to Midland, Michigan, check out the show. If you guys are a manufacturer or a car dealership want to be part of the show, just contact them. I'm sure they'd love to hear from you, and they could really use your support. And as always, guys, thank you again. And this time from Midland, Michigan, I'm the Honda Pro, and now you're in the know.